Finally, the US troops from Niger have started to evacuate or to withdraw. So this happened last Friday. Hello, I am Mahlet Ayele, your host at Connect Africa, bringing you the latest from the continent, and particularly as we follow the Sahel Alliance states. Now, as we all know, the last in May last month was where the two meaning the Niger government and also the U.S. Have signed that the U.S. troops will finally will leave, and their last. The last withdrawal will be by 15th of September. That means up until then, whatever number it is, so they will start to work. So the first batch actually have left last Friday, and that's it. I mean, congratulations to Niger. I mean, there is no independence while you are leasing your security for somebody else. So for a country to have that territorial sovereignty, you have to be, a country has to be able to defend itself, or to work with those who do not work against them, meaning who are not part of the neocolonialism, who are not jeopardizing also the security of the country. Now, I want to share with you, I mean, this was not an easy victory for Niger. They have fought this particularly, because Niger, the US has its troops. It's the military base in Niger was really different because it was the biggest air base in the continent, which is also drone base, and it was something that they have brought from either Mali or Burkina Faso when they were kicked, so they brought it here. So they thought they have an alliance or a people that will not go to revolution and say anything, but the people of Niger have taken a different path. They have taken their fate in their own hands, and finally they get rid of the leaders that was working to the interest of the neo-colonialists, and they have thrown that government. Now they have their own, and this government, first and foremost, what they have done is, of course, to break that connection, that shackle of chain that connects them, or that a tool that continues to colonize them. That is really first. The first thing is also security. Having the French military there, the U.S. military there. They started it with the French military. It was not easy. It took months, but they have come so far. I mean, since the revolution happened, or others they call it a coup. It happened on July 2023. Or to be specific, I think, was it July 24 or July 23? Anyway, it was July. And ever since that happened, they have been able to send away the French military from there, the French ambassador, and also to close some of the NGOs that have been working, that have been used by the neo-colonialists as a tool to continue what they were doing in Niger. So they have also have closed that. Also, some of the media agents there. Now, when they finish, kind of have done a lot of things now with the French, have dealt with the French, and then now they came to the US and they have told them to leave. In fact, we all were asking why they're not saying anything to the US. The US seemed all of a sudden cozy, and but of course, as on the same coin, also the US has been accusing and calling it a junta leader, and continue to refuse to acknowledge this government. And this is really the main reason what made the Niger government now to push or to send the US military away, which is good. But also Nigerian, as soon as when they as they told the Americans to leave, they also signed a military agreement or a defense agreement with the Russians. And in fact, when there was no action from the US, what they have done is the air base that was used by the US was also given to the Russia. So the US military have not left yet. So what they have done is in the same camp, but by having a separate place, there was a Russian military and then the US military. That was the point where it came real for the US that they have to leave. And they said, okay, this is a mutual agreement, as they say. They don't like to be defeated. So they said it's a mutual agreement and they will leave. So the first batch have left last Friday. Now, let me just read this news with you. Look what it says now. This is one of the slogans. It says, US Army, you leave, you move, you vanish. No bonus, no negotiation. That's what these are Nigerians who, the same people who have come on the street and demonstrated against the French military are now protesting against, the US military's presence there. It says the US military equipment and personnel have started leaving Niger ahead of a December deadline. The US and Niger praised one another and promised ongoing but unspecified cooperation. Of course, we understand. I mean, there will not be any military agreement between Niger and US. Niger has already, have gone with Russia, so there's no way for the US to come in. America has refused to recognize Niger's coup government, which has moved to strengthen ties with Russia now. So the first US soldiers and equipment left Niger on Friday, it says, with their Air Force. That was it. That is now the end. This is the first chapter of the ending of the US military to Niger. The same thing happened in Burkina Faso, in Mali, in Niger. Now, this is how you get your independence. But you cannot talk about economic development while your security is governed, while your security is leased to somebody else, to superpowers, and a superpower that, that has not recognized the government, that continues to disrespect and deny to acknowledge the government, and continues to bully, that continues, characteristically assassinate, the government of Niger. So they said, enough is enough. Now, you go away back home and we will deal with our own security problems and whatever we have. So that's what they have done. And they're showing how it is done to the region, to ECOWAS, and who still remains, under the influence, under the colonization of France, who have signed that colonial tax pact. It's called, with 11 components. You have Senegal in the region, Benin, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, who don't even want to break away. They are still, finding a way to continue their term in power, and France is helping them with this. And continue to sabotage their brothers and sisters in countries like the Sahel Alliance states, in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. And countries like Benin continue to sabotage and betray Niger by hosting the French military, who is still in hostile with Niger. But they are doing it. These three countries are doing it, and they are showing it how it is done, not only to ECOWAS, to the region, but also to the African Union. We are really lucky to have these leaders in our generation. And sometimes I get a comment asking me why I particularly follow this region, and meaning Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. For me, it's really special. We also do cover other, but this is special because it's a history. It's history in the making. After us, the next generation, we learn it as history, but we have got the chance to witness it as it happens, as history is in the making. So it's a duty for me to come and talk about it every day and remind people what kind of leaders were, because the mainstream is not going to talk about it, let alone forget the Western mainstream media. Even our own country's national broadcasters in Africa do not talk about it. How many countries in Africa have relation with this Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger? You know, some of them, they appreciate them, but still, you know, they are afraid to do anything. Maybe some of them, they call behind the scene and they say, oh, let not this go on media. So us as a Pan-African media platform, if we don't talk about this, who will talk about it? So that's my reason for me, you know, to come and talk about them every day whenever there is a development there. Thanks again, you know, for tuning in. We will see you on the next one. Thank you all for your support, for here to be with us. Thank you, Nuru. And then, yeah, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you like what we bring you here, also give it thumbs up and share the video with others. If you want to help us further, you can go ahead and donate to our PayPal account in the description section. At the end, I'll just invite you to watch this and
The withdrawal of 946 American soldiers from Niger has commenced, starting from bases in Agadez, Walem, and Difa, heading towards Niamey. The departure process to the United States began over the weekend with nearly 1,000 soldiers gathering at Niamey International Airport Squadron Base for their gradual exit. This follows the signing of the withdrawal agreement between the two countries on May 19, officially initiating the process.
More than 269 U.S. personnel out of 946 and several tons of equipment have departed Niger. Thus, the flight of a C-17 Globemaster III of the American Air Forces, which landed on this day, 7 June 2024, at Airbase 101 in Niamey, marks the beginning of a series of flights of large aircrafts for the withdrawal of personnel and equipment in accordance with the agreement of May 19th, 2024.
The departure was formalized in a joint ceremony between the Nigerian and American armies presented by Colonel Major Maman Sani Kiao, President of the Disengagement Committee, and Major General Kenneth Ekman, U.S. Troop Commander in Niger. Niger commended the joint effort in combating terrorism and called for continued collaboration in other areas. The Nigerian Ministry of National Defense and the American Department of Defense acknowledge the joint sacrifices made by the forces of both countries in the fight against terrorism. They mutually commend the effort made in strengthening the capacities of the Nigerian armed forces and express their common commitment to continue cooperation in areas of mutual interest. The withdrawal follows the departure of the French army from Niger at the end of 2023 and the arrival of Russian military instructors as the Nigerian junta strengthens its defense ties with the Kremlin.
That was it. You know, this is how you win also diplomatically. These people, really, these leaders, they'll never cease to amaze me. Thank you. Go ahead and comment, in the comment section and let us know what do you think of this. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.